Thinking of how to start calisthenics as a beginner and not sure how to begin? No worries, in this video, I'll give you a guide and roadmap of how to progress your calisthenics journey. This video is gonna be fun and packed with lots of knowledge, so buckle up and get ready.
In with the queen, I'm the alpha, the omega, everything in between.
Ride with the mob, hum to Allah, check you and me, in with your job.
What's going on guys, this is Xavier from Focus Athletes. Before we start, you must be wondering why learn calisthenics and what are the long-term advantages of it. Number 1, calisthenics give you functional strength which enhance real-world strength and body control. By mastering push-up, pull-up, squats and calf movement, you develop the strength that translate to real-world tasks like climbing, lifting, better coordination and better posture. Number 2, minimal equipment required. With calisthenics, you can train literally anywhere using just your body weight. Imagine going to the gym at peak hours, the machine you intended to use are being occupied, and in the end you have to head home with left something untrained. At this time, you can just find a spot to do calisthenics movement. Number 3, it gives you aesthetic gains. Training calisthenics engages almost every part of your body, which help you to develop a lean, well-defined muscles. Before we start, let's take a look at this diagram, so-called the roadmap. If you're at the beginner stage, we want to ensure that we can start off with these beginner skills first, such as the L-sit, elbow lever, headstand, frog stand, pull-ups and dips. Because without learning these, it's almost didn't build a foundation to learn other skills like handstand. Because example, frog stand and headstand is an easier variation for handstand to learn how to balance with your hands. Bottom of it, you see the strength foundation, means that every of your training, it not only includes training for skills, but it also builds your strength base. With a bigger strength base, you will be able to master these skills faster. To plan your training, you can select 2 of these skills you want to concentrate on. Example, L-sit and frog stand is the skill you want to learn. You can incorporate them into the start of your training sessions. For example, if you train 4 times a week, the first day you can train for L-sits at the start of your training, and the second day you can swap with frog stand and so on. To cycle them until you master these 2 skills, then you can swap them with another one. Usually after calisthenics skills training, then we will work on our strength foundation, like the push-up, pipe push-up, Australian pull-ups, core exercises and so on. It's because we don't want to exhaust ourselves by using strength first, then to learn these skills. Make sense? To master these beginner skills, you may be thinking about how long you'll be able to master them. I would say it will take about a few months up to 9 months, depending on your current foundation and how hard you work on your program. So as we progress, you will realize that your strength is increasing. You will start to think that the normal basic pull-ups no longer serve you as a challenge, and the normal dips becomes a piece of cake. This is where the intermediate door starts to open up for you and give you a warm welcome. Take a look at these prerequisites for the intermediate, which I find it very doable after you master the previous skills for some time. Which for girls, will be able to do 15 kg of weighted dips and 30 kg for guys for 5 reps. 10 kg weighted pull-ups for girls, 20 kg for guys, 5 reps. At this point, everyone should be able to do between 10 to 15 pull-ups with good form, straight up and straight down. After which, can start to learn other intermediate skills like handstand, pistol squat, etc. There's more to it that I didn't name it. Just a side note, right, when I start learning my muscle ups, I could do at least 18 pull-ups and I still couldn't do all muscle ups. This is because I still need to specifically train for it after a good foundation. Thereafter will be advanced level, elite level and so on, which takes years to master. This is what I like about calisthenics, which gives you an endless learning curve, just like playing video games. You need to level up, yeah. So these are the topics for another day. This is the broad overview of the training plan. I do recommend to train for 5 times a week and rest for 2 days, so you will see more of your progress. However, some people felt that they wouldn't able to recover, so you could train for 4 days. I wouldn't want to recommend which day you want to drop, because it depends on your priority. As a baseline, you will not drop to train for 3 days a week because it will mean resting for 4 days. The progression will be slow because you only get to familiarize the same skill 1 to 2 times per week. Alright, let's move on to the push day. So during the start of the training day, we want to start off with a stretch, and it's a must. Because if you want to get the most out of our training sessions and stay injury free to train for a long time, right, we wouldn't want to skip the warm-up. Because many of these movements are actually compound exercises that will add a lot of stress to our muscles, especially to our shoulder and wrist. So make sure you spend at least 15 minutes to warm up the muscle that you are going to use later, and every angle of it needs to be stretched. During this stretch, you want to also have a mental and physical preparation of what you'll be doing later. I couldn't stress enough the importance of this step because some of you might live in a cold country, right? Then for instance, if you start your working set without a warm-up, the intensity you might go to can be up to 80 to 90%. And if your muscle is not ready for the move, then you might risk of getting injured. As for the warm-up, right, I like to start to stretch from the top to the bottom. So starting to stretch from my arms, then to the shoulders, then down to the wrist, and every angle of the wrist try to add intensity, then down to the core and to the hamstring. Now after the stretch and we are completely warm up, right, then we can start to train our skill first. For instance, if you are training for L-sit, then we can start with the easier version of what we can hold before for one set. For example, just hold on to the position without extending the legs. This is just to get prepared to train for the working sets later. So the working sets, for example, it will look like alternate legs L-sit for reps for 3 sets. Or if you felt strong enough, then you can do the L-sit attempts for sets. If you want a detailed video of how to achieve the L-sit, right, then let me know in the comment section. Then I'll come up with a full details for the tutorial in the future. After the skill training, then we can work on our basics to build the strength foundation. The basics never get old because we can always increase the difficulty of the basics later, no matter which stage we are at. At the moment, if you are unable to do push-up, right, you can try to do the knee push-up first. Just like the regular push-up, with both knees on the floor. Feel your chest, tricep and scapula are working together while you're attempting the push-ups. You want to try to aim for 10 knee push-ups first. If you're able to do these 10 easily, right, try to increase the speed. As speed equals to explosiveness, it will help you to gain strength to your regular push-ups. After you are able to do 10 fast knee push-ups, try to attempt the regular one. You should find yourself able to do them. For the basics, you can do 3 sets. For folks who can do push-up easily, right, try to do more reps. Example, 20 or 30 of them in one set. Or try to attempt dips. Dips is the next level of push-ups, as it eliminates the aids of our legs which are on the floor. We will be using 100% of our body weight to push ourselves up away from the earth. Give it a try. After completing push-ups, then we can work on pipe push-ups, which will work on our shoulders, which will give strength to handstand when we are working on it later. For pipe push-ups key points, you want to try to ensure that your nose are as close to the floor as possible when you are going down, creating like a triangle shape between your head and your hands. Give as much weight to your shoulders as possible because it's a shoulder exercise. This exercise will not be as effective if you are trying to lean back while doing it, or not going down enough for the pipe push-ups. If you are starting out, doing partial range of motion is okay, but always go down as much as you could when you are trying. For core exercises to end of push day, we can select 3 to 4 exercises to shred off our body fats. As calisthenics, our body weight plays a huge part on how easily we learn skills. If you are overweight, learning skills will be more challenging. We'll move on to the next day, which is our pull day. If you are training frog stand for today, we can train it at the start of the training session because it belongs to a skill training which we discussed earlier on. You can spend about half an hour for this training to familiarize with this move. Oh yes, one important factor when we are learning skills training is to record ourselves. Usually the form in our mind and what is the reality is totally different. Looking back at the videos you recorded and correct it will save you a lot of time in future. For the pulling exercises, if you are unable to do a pull-up yet, I have made a detailed video in the past of how to get your first pull-up within months. Do check it out. Links are in the description below or above here. In short, if you are unable to do a pull-up yet, right, resistance band is your next best friend. Select the one that can maximum do 10. Do it with reps to build muscles. And also use a thinner band that you can maximally do 5 with sets. In this way, you are not only gaining strength required, and also building muscle required to perform the pull-ups. Pull-ups is the king of pulling and back exercises, so do not miss them. People that has great back physiques, right, has never missed the pull-up. Next exercises, we can also do Australian pull-ups to further build our lat strength. As Australian pull-up involve pulling horizontally and will be utilizing different muscle groups. If you are in the gym, You can also perform the lats pull down. I find this is a great exercises and you can slowly learn about the mind-muscle connection and also adjust the intensity according to your levels. For leg days, you can train for squats, box squats if you intend to train for pistol squat in the future. Training for effective box squat, there are two things you can look out for. One is focusing on the whole body balance and coordination when you're doing the full range of motion from the top to the bottom. As if you are not noticing this trick and you only do the full range of motion, it's hard to control in the pistol squat later because your body has not adapted to the body coordination and will be shaking. Second thing to look out for is when you train for it, you can start to increase the height of the box when it becomes easier for you, or even going down further in depth of this box squat. This will involve in better glutes engagement. Having a leg day is not only help you to look better in overall physics, but also scientifically proven to lose fats faster. Alright, this is a detailed plan of how you could plan out your calisthenics routine. Again, you could train for 4 to 5 days in a week with sufficient rest. I will end off the video with a quote. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally, it comes from what you do consistently. Alright guys, let me know what you would like me to cover in the next video and any other question. See you in the next one.